or leave me. You can still walk away. What if I told you this love won't be easy? Will you still be here? Is this real? Will you still be here?
Hello internet, this is Leah from Luxury Tech Apparel, and this is like gonna be a really quick video. It's gonna be like super informal as well, because I'm gonna mix like with a kind of like vlog type of format, plus like a presentation format. So if you don't remember, I'm gonna put the picture, but I did a video like while I was like presenting example of portfolio in UX design and UI and VUI, and I finished one of the projects in my portfolio so I can move on like normally technically with applications. I did a hackathon, and within the hackathon, like they told me like when I was doing it, I didn't put the project that I did in the hackathon, just because the company and the CEO of the company wasn't that appealing to me. So I felt very comfortable with subject that I really worked on a lapsed period of time. I knew my data, I knew my sources, I knew my researchers. So I'm gonna put like some example of the portfolio so quickly, and then I'm gonna move on into something that is super fun, which was like user interview, quantitative and qualitative data research, and I just wanted to share that with you if you are like thinking about doing UX design, UI, VUI. Like I'm always like extending things, and if you are thinking about you know, just like collecting data or data visualization or anything of that sort, and because behind data, as much as we like to call it like technical terms, it's just like a massive amount of information and usually comes from people. So I think that also doing it, you have to be like extremely mindful. That helps a lot. And so to move forward, my portfolio took me exactly 3 weeks to do, which was a kind of like a long time. I mean, it took me like 3 months to do the project, but 3 weeks to do the portfolio. So I did my project in March to like April, June. May, June. And because we had like a lot of like talks also as well with people who are coming from company like Facebook, Google and everything, and talking to us and everything about projects like hardware and software, because we all know that the VUI is mostly software, but that UX also can apply to our hardware design. Had to translate in other words like a presentation that was an oral public presentation into a piece of portfolio that could speak for myself, because when you send your portfolio away, it has to be self-explanatory. You have to show within 2 minutes that you mastered your craft and you mastered your subject. So that was kind of like the challenge that I faced. So I did this presentation in front of 5 judges. So it was a good combo. It was between people in the agencies, people having their own company, people working at Google, people working in Facebook, people in the fields for many years working even on MySpace and everything, and so on and so forth. So basically what I did is that we were judged on glow and grow, and I took my strong point, to be quite honest, which were storytelling. Discovered the problem, that is my strong point, and research. Most of them, the project plan and research both were clear. Information, like the problem was really clear. Excellent storytelling. Love how you pivoted, great storytelling and narrative. So I took like all of my glow, so to speak, and the final product felt like it was highly researched. So, and then I kind of like put aside all of my grow type of thing, because I'm growing them now, which was like very insightful, by the way, but it was like too long, or my grow were like more structure, missing a persona. We would like to see So I didn't put a demo. That's a good point. Like I didn't put a demo. So maybe I'm gonna put a demo, like the demo that I did on Invision. So things like that, like see improvement. Ooh. For me in doing the portfolio was really making sure that everything had a story behind what I was saying. So I break it down like in parts, exactly like a story. You break it down into the hero journey. Instead of a hero journey, I did the user journey. Instead of chapters, I made parts that were like very subtle, that were always cut. I made a pattern, so the pattern, not a pattern. So the pattern that I made were a picture and then a chunk of text explaining the picture and then a picture and then flow charts or anything like that. I will make sure that it was explained orally, verbally, in 2 words, because it does matter in the world of research to be able to break down and communicate what you observe. So show that you can do that as much as visually, because we're still designers and we are designing an end product. And I feel like data and design are like with a code of UI is like my favorite little parts. So, and the code of UI. So that's what I'm doing on my free time. I mean, free time that I don't really have, but so that's what I did. And then now we can move on to the second part, which is the user interview for my next product, which is gonna be also. So my mentor told me basically, I want you to have a journal and I want you to note everything that you observe that is relevant to you in your quotidian life. And I didn't do it like every day because obviously the pace is not allowing me to, but I did it every time I had like a moment and I developed like very strange reflection, like honestly, people not like, bottom line, people not being happy. They were never happy. Like what doesn't matter what you do, what you say, even jokes, like hello, like you spend literally 8 to 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours shift in this place. It's more than your home. If you're not capable to have a feeling of well-being during that the majority of that chunk of time, I strongly would say like I would do a self-check and reevaluate what I'm doing. And there was commission environment. I believe it's like the empire of greed. It's the place where greed is being rewarded for, and that's just the structure of the company. And I believe that they set like the question of finance, and so those were my 2 points, and those were my starting points into this project. And that led me to so many research. I have like read so many financial books, like The Intelligent Investor. I scanned through it. I have to finish it. How Money Works, which is like a kind of like actually I have it right here. Should I? So so this one, which is The Richest Man of Babylon, which is a very common sense book on how money can work and how you can scale it. I strongly recommend it. The Intelligent Investors. So this one I have to finish it. I didn't finish it. I'm so sorry. Like lack of time. Structure. Why Everything Don't Fall Down. I strongly recommend it. Like it's an engineering book actually, but it really explains you like the common sense on how to make something last. And if you have a company, or if you intend to build a business, or if you intend to scale money, you can have like some common sense insight out of that. I read so many others too, but I read like data, and then it was like How Money Works, visually explained. Basically I had to choose on one. They told me like, no, you have to choose on one. And I chose finance. I mean, they chose for me mostly. It's like, he said like, I feel like finance is better for you and stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna come back to mindfulness meditation because I've gone too far now to like just drop it. So it's just like a hold. So most of my user interview, my user research, my user surveys are based on finance. And the thing that was super interesting. That is super interesting when you do UXD or when you do UI, is that you go across industries. So every time it's very informative into whatever. You're almost like consulting. You have to understand what the culture is. You have to have a maximum amount of culture and information, and you have to know your subject as much as you have to know your craft. And what is super interesting when you get into finance, on the scope or the point of view that I got in, is that you get into the personal life of people, which is super touching. You have to do it with a lot of respect. You have to do it with a lot of care. So bottom line, you have two main type of interviews there that are spread out and known to the public. The main type of interviews is survey, which is much more quantitative, discrete type of quantitative information. And you have user interview, which is much more like qualitative interview, but you just don't have that. You have several other methods. You have data visualization, you have data analytics, you have traffic, you have so many more ways to do your research, but the most common one, like the two main one, are those two. That's what I did. And honestly, like, my favorite part was obviously the part with the user interview, because you really get to know people, and your job is to have a set of questions like that you lay out and you craft with a goal in mind. So whether you design a survey, and I'm gonna put like the how to design a survey question pictures for you to help you out, because you really have to know what's the goal, what's the purpose, what you want to know, and all of those are questions that you have to answer yourself before you design your survey. What kind of people do you want to talk to? So what I personally did and how I designed it is that I did my survey first, because my survey were informing the type of people that I had to interview. So it was mostly like, you know, are you a student? Are you a young professional? Do you have student loan? Do you have debt? Do you know what a passive income is? Do you know all of those things? Because the main problem that I came across when I was reading those books is that it appears that in fact it's a big lack in education. They believe that money is gone and is going with a hype, and money is not a hype thing. Money is not a trend. These questions are like super interesting, and it's a very interesting process. And behind the data that you are collecting, whether it's analytics, whether it's traffic, whether it's clickbaits, whether it's surveys, whether it's user interview, there is always people around. So most of the people usually they are going to interview their friends or their family, but that's a very big mistake, I believe, because you need to understand someone who is not you, or someone who is not similar or doesn't have any particular affinity with you. And that's really that's the bottom line of a profile that you are looking for. So I did the survey, I designed the survey, and I went into mostly like one spot where people were wealthy enough in a Starbucks, and the other spots were like waitresses, restaurant, and I'm in a separation right now in my personal life, but I lived there for 4 years now, and no, 3 years, 2 years. I lived here for 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, like ongoing 3 years. And my neighborhood is being gentrified, so I live in a nice part next to Columbia University, but 2 streets down you have the main street, and then if you go further, three blocks down, then you are in a part that is like non-gentrified, so to speak, like politically correct. And then you find a different crowd of population. Like the restaurants are not the same, the music that you listen to is not the same, the stores are not the same. Like and you really have to go towards those people. So I took like people that wanted to move forward, that wanted to have an improvement in their life, because that was like the profile that I was looking for. But you know, they have to have like a reason why they were not doing so, or why it was not happening as fast, or was it because they were like a focus, was it because they had student loans, was it because they had debt, was it because they were by themselves, was it because, you know, your taxes by yourself is not the same taxes as when you are married. So all of those questions are super important to ask and go around, and you really have to design your survey with that. So I'm not gonna expose my results, I'm not gonna even expose what people told me, because it touched also their personal life, and I want to keep that private and anonymous, because I want to keep the trust that I worked hard to build. I think it's like, yeah, it's a work. It's a work to have honesty, it's a work to have integrity. I hope that you're gonna understand, like, this guy does not stop speaking loud. I hope that you understand I'm eating French onion soup. What else? Like, I hope that you will all understand that I'm really making this in order to sorry, I'm really a mess. No, I'm not a mess. That's not a nice way, because I'm really organized, but it's just like I want to be efficient. So I hope that you will all understand that it's like very casual, because it's almost like a vlog, and my goal is to have a set of like 16 questions and interview as many people as I can. Normally, like, we are supposed to interview 3, but I read like 5 user tests, like in user testing, like 5 people help you discover like 85% of your mistakes and reiteration. And I was like, oh, if 5 people help you like iterate like 85%, it must be like the same rule that applies in user interview as well. So we will see that, and we will know this to be true as a good UX designer. So hopefully, hey, let's test. And I'm so sorry that I am wearing no makeup, my hair are not done, and I'm wearing my facial hoodie. Thank you so much, Bob. So pretty much everyone is doing something, and I'm just gonna still try to sneak out and like say like, hey, do you mind like introducing yourself, and record them, and finally do like my user interview. And I think that this is gonna be really helpful. Sorry, I'm a mess. Okay, I hide myself because I run into luck. I wanted so much to videotape this interview, but she was like, I'm camera shy and stuff. So I have like a few recordings, but like she's camera shy. I will never put it in my YouTube vlog or whatever it is going to be. But I had like so many rejection, and I fall into a girl that was working for finance, and I was like, oh my god, that's my luck. And I cannot wait to share with you guys all of this. Bye. These sweaters, mine is Sailor Moon, and I love it because this sweater is very good.
Yeah.
And they call it ugly sweaters, but I don't think it's ugly.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sweater. Mine's Sailor Moon. It's like my favorite. It's an ugly sweater. So please do so.
Hi, my name is Landra. I work at Coogan's, and I was what's your name? Sorry,
Leah.
I was speaking to Leah, and I was speaking to Leah, and her interview questions actually helped me out with my financial problems.
It's true. Ugly sweaters, entrepreneurs, do advertising for yourself, girl.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, I'm in Monroe College for criminal justice, and I do makeup on the side. and logos. Check me out. My Instagram name is Dopus.
That's amazing. What's your Instagram name?
Dopus.
Dopus?
Yeah.
Because you're a boss. You're a boss, girl.
Thank you.
Interview. That's all.
Hi, my name is Mari, and she has helped me a lot.
Did I?
Yes, today.
Oh my
To think about to invest and maybe perhaps use some apps to help me in the future for investments.
And VY. Voice
And-
assistant.
And voice assistant
To help you.
to help me
Yes. Leverage your life.
to leverage my life.
You are amazing. Thank you so much. Right. So I'm hiding myself right now to have like a moment of silence, but actually like the bar was actually successful. I got like 3 interviews so far. I don't want to stop, so I'm gonna do my nails because I feel so bad, and I'm gonna do my pedicure as well. So maybe there will be someone willing or more than willing to answer my question over there. I don't think so, but
Can't allow someone like you to wear
let's
it.
try. So let's do this. And FYI, to have a Sailor Moon sweater was the best choice I could ever have done by mistake. Like it was not calculated at all. It's because I'm cold and I love that sweater.
But what's money without happiness? But what's money without happiness?
So I'm gonna ask for my last interview of today. Did my nails and my feet. So Leia being taken care of is Leia happy. My mom called me like Queen Leia, and I think I deserve that title fully. So I'm gonna deal with this data and see if this nice lady here can answer my questions. Everyone putting. Okay.
Hi, how are you? I'm Maria. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Colombia, and that interview was amazing because I think that I have to make money to help us.
You think so?
Yeah.
So this interview was really amazing.
Yeah, that's really amazing because I never I tried to make a business for help people, for get like opportunities for the people that need it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
You're smart, girl. Look at you. All right. So I'm done with all of the interviews. I just have like a few more, and then I'm done. I'm doing the presentation and everything. I just wanted to thank everyone and even the people that I don't know. I would like to have 2 hours of Mandarin a week, 2 to 3 hours of Mandarin a week, and if I can monetize or like not monetize but like trade like instead of 4 hours but 3 hours or 2 hours of the Ghetto network research for missing person, I would totally do it. Like I love that. So that has like nothing to do with this video, but I strongly suggest you to go check it out. It's called the Ghetto Network. There are 6,000 people missing a year in the United States alone, and anyone who wants to volunteer, even for a resume, if you want to add that to your resume, I think that's a very good point to have. Like do the Ghetto Network. Like I have to add my resume that I did.
You still be What if I showed you I could change? I really hope you don't walk away. What if I showed you this love